Guthrie, Edmond Airport Advisory Board is now in session. Do we have any public comments?
There we are.
First item is approval of the minutes of the April 14th board meeting. That's the long one.
So moved.
Second that.
Okay, all in favor, accepting them?
Aye.
Passed. Okay, number 4 is approval of the minutes of the May 12th board meeting. And that's the short one.
Yeah, I so moved.
I have a second.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Okay, discussion items, number 5, the discussion of the airport manager's report and monthly financials.
Well, I am pleased to tell you that the FY 2012 FAA project where we redid the Northwest Development Area, Happy Rewiring, Taxiway Charlotte is officially closed out grant-wise with the FAA. So it's been a long time coming, but we've been able to finish that project. It's very nice to have that one under our belt, completely done. I'm going to skip the next projects because those will be covered in the meeting. We have some hangar development going on. Mr. Bob Sheehan is still working on his hangar 6A, and should be progressing shortly with the better weather, and now that they're in the summertime, we'll have some time. And then we have a application for construction of 2 possible hangars that will be covered later on in the agenda. As far as airport services, we have the pilot's lounge still ongoing. Briefly discussed that in the agenda as well. In fuel facility lighting, we are looking at a alternative means to light our fuel facility. Right now, it is basically in the dark, and the issue that we're having is to put electricity out to the fuel tanks other than what's already out there will require an extensive amount of time, effort, and money to break up the concrete across the ramp to run a new line. The lines at the fuel facility have to be completely encased and blast-proof so that they don't catch anything, sparks causing a fire. So we've managed to find a solar light that runs off of basically recharging the battery and has an LED light output that will serve the means out there for a cost of what it would be less than actually breaking up the concrete and doing everything. It's been ordered but waiting to be installed. They haven't received the shipment in from that yet.
And we weren't close enough to a building to put a spot on the corner of a building.
Correct, because the light, the one, we don't own the buildings, and 2, the closest building would put the light shadow everything because it would be behind the tanks. The buildings and grounds mowing operations are in full swing. It's been wet, it's been mushy. We've gotten the mowers and tractors stuck on multiple occasions, and but we are accomplishing the task, basically just trying to keep it at a manageable level at this point. Hopefully it'll dry out, and I'm sure everybody's yards is feeling the same way. Security cameras and Wi-Fi hotspots have been installed at the airport. We have been having an issue with the Wi-Fi hotspot and the Wi-Fi cameras. There's 3 Wi-Fi cameras and 5 hard-mounted cameras. We've had the person who's installed it is fully aware of it, and he's promises that he will make it right, and they will be working at no charge to us. But the process is trying to figure out what is the issue. Right now, we believe we have it narrowed down to some wires on the inside, which is better than the connection, the Wi-Fi portion of the connection where we're trying to signal it. So those hopefully will be back up and running. He'll be coming up here next week to continue to troubleshoot and figure it out. They work intermittently is what we're having, so it's kind of off and on problem right now.
Maybe it's weather.
Well, honestly, I think it's one little cable that's about 6 inches long. Because when it turns off, you can adjust and tweak the cable, and if you do it just right, all of a sudden it comes back on. So we think we're replacing that one cable, and everything should be back in order.
Where on the map are the hotspots, or did you
The
assume?
Wi-Fi hotspots are hangar 26 and hangar 13.
25.
25, sorry, yeah.
25 for
Yeah, I screwed that up twice, didn't I? One is on Gail Braden's hangar and the other is on Dan Burnett's hangar. And those Wi-Fi hotspots do cover very well most of the down hangar area, including your hangar. Roger should be able to pick that up. And once we get them fully operational and 100% working order, then we'll be releasing the information on how to log on. Right now, we're just trying to get it able to stay on 100% of the time. Let's see, where are we at? In that process, we installed some security security lighting in the maintenance area. As you know, our tractors and equipment are out there. They are locked up, but it's kind of a dark area. And so in order to make sure that we keep it as secure as possible, we have cameras pointed in that direction, and now it's lit to be able to enhance the camera's abilities at night. And so that should help us, if something were to happen, to be able to identify it and hopefully reclaim property. And also deter. And as always, September 26th is our upcoming annual fly-in, and we're looking forward to that. If you have any ideas, thoughts, or ways you want to help out, the Aviation Association is meeting right after this meeting, and would love to hear any of your input. As far as monthly revenues, does anybody have any questions on where we're at or what we have? I will tell you the reason we're trying to cancel one of the meetings, upcoming meetings, is the AAAE conference. The American Association of Airport Executives is having their national conference, and I received my accreditation on May 8th from that organization, so I'm a fully accredited airport executive. The national conference is kind of the pilgrimage that you're able to go on when you receive that. I received a scholarship to go to the conference, and I believe it's going to cost our entire budget about $200 for a hotel room stay.
Not bad for
So,
Philadelphia.
It's not bad for Philadelphia, exactly. We've worked a lot of angles and we're able to get it pretty cheap, so I'm very excited to be able to do that. Unfortunately, AAA likes the second week in the month, and so that has hit us on multiple occasions. This is one that I'm very excited to go to. We'll gladly report back what I'm able to learn and take in. Being an accredited airport executive, I'm now applied and being accepted to serve on the General Aviation Airports Committee for the American Association of Executives as well. So it's exciting to be able to put our name on the map and get out there nationally.
Good job.
So all that to say, we're going to spend $200 instead of $3,000. You know, just all that for that. If nobody has any questions, that's all I have for the finances as far as the monthly finances.
Okay, let's move on. Anybody got any questions on finances? Let's move on to item number 6, discussion of the airport pilot lounge project.
At this time, we're pretty much in a standstill waiting on Myers Engineering and the architectural firm that they're working with to be able to put together a reduced and segmented amount of specifications that we are going forth to put in the pilot lounge. There were some things that probably didn't need to be spec'd out, such as paint and all that kind of stuff. So we're working on reducing that to make it easier for smaller companies to be able to bid and hopefully receive bids that'll fall within our budgeted amount in the area. The hope is that will be rebid in the next couple months, and with that, the expenses will most likely carry over to the following year, fiscal year, for the city of Guthrie, and that's why this proposed budget that'll be recommended or voted on for recommendation today shows the expenses next year. We kind of had to delay a little bit, but ultimately we think it will happen.
Is there a possibility of losing funds?
Well, and that's why we rebudgeted the funds, and so basically the $50,000 that we have this year will go away, and it's a new $50,000 that comes in, but the dollar amount stays the same.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Any questions on that? Item number 7, discussion of pavement maintenance and approach light projects.
As most of you probably received the airport update late this afternoon. If not, please let me know and I can make sure I can get that to you. The taxiway portion of the project, which will be on the north end of the taxiway, will happen begin on June 15th. It'll go from June 15th to July 8th. During that time, the runway will be opened, everything will be usable. There will be a back taxi requirement, or they'll have to avoid that taxiway that they're tearing up and not get on the runway to use the full lane.
The end date is July.
July 8th is not necessarily the ultimate end date for that taxiway construction, but that's the period, the first period of the sections of construction that we're working on. They're gonna basically work on that, stop on the 8th of July, and concentrate 100% on the runway in order to be able to open it back up in 30 days. And then they'll go back and finish up whatever's needed on the taxiway after that 30 days. Because the taxiway is not necessarily a full-on requirement for an operational airport. During the January 15th to the July 8th timeframe, there will be a couple days where we'll have night closures. They'll probably be at 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. closure.
You said January.
Well, let's hope not January. Yeah, I'm sure I said it. It's like I said, it's been one of those days.
had
If I
that.
said January, then I apologize. June 15th to July 8th, there'll be a couple night closures, and we're letting the flight schools know, because that will be probably the people that it affects the most, as they do night flying and night training. And then also letting the pilots know as well for night currency, or if they're coming in and out, they can plan around that. And hopefully that will decrease the amount of days needed for the 30-day requirement. There's a chance that can reduce it by 2 days, but it also builds in a cushion that says we're still opening up in 30 days, and it gives them a little bit of work room.
What exactly is that project? I mean, the activity, the construction?
The construction
activity.
Taxiway Alpha is that there's some dips in the taxiway, and the taxiway is separating from the middle center line out. And so they're gonna regrade that, bring it back up to level. And what they think happened is when it was installed in 2004 to 2007, that now that it's 10 years later, had time to settle. And so and it's just in one area in very odds, and they're gonna grade it back off, compact it, and relay concrete. And it should be fine, because it hasn't increased in the amount of settlement. So we think we're at an okay level to be able to do that. The runway portion of it, there's about 26 panels that have cracks in it. They're gonna have to full on remove the panel and replace. And so that's where the 30-day requirement is, because of the concrete cure time. But during that project, they will also repaint the runway markings, which will they're greatly needed, and we're excited for that. And then joint seal the entire runway, which is also needed. So that'll enhance the longevity of our runway significantly. And hopefully we won't have to do another thing like this for 10, 15 years when we have to re-joint seal. Joint sealing is the easy one. That's where you close down for 4 days and you're back up. It's the concrete that's our issue right now.
So those dips that are out there, that's all that's going to be taken out and graded, not the entire.
Not the entire. Yeah, I think they're going maybe 100 feet on each end of the dips.
Because those are the only ones I've noticed.
Yeah, I think they'll go 100 feet on each. So we're looking at potentially about 300 feet, of taxiway they're going to take out and fix.
Okay.
Because it is